All right. Hey there. This is John Chen, and I have a special guest with me, the one and only Jimbo Clark. Jimbo Clark, what's going on? Now,
What's
wait a
going
minute.
on is unboxing day is what's going on.
That's super fantastic. Okay. Why don't you describe to people what unboxing day is, and then I'll tell them why we're doing this video.
Okay, so unboxing day started in 2020. It was the realization that between Christmas and New Year's, there's this space of time. And in the UK, they have Christmas, then Boxing Day. And so part of my life is putting boxes on people's heads to take them off to help them to think out of the box. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be good to have an unboxing day? So if you got Boxing Day on the 26th, then sometime between the 26th and the 31st should be unboxing day. And unboxing day is that transition from the obligations of the holiday season and all of the franticness and the relaxedness to kind of re-engage your brain as we think about the next year. And so we unbox the gifts of the past. We imagine next year as the best year possible. We there's a third thing. We replace old strategies with new possibilities, and then we predict the future. What are the gifts we're giving ourselves for the next year? And that's what we just did.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Jimbo Clark. And so, what I really wanted to do with this scenario is that I made this new commitment for next year. I really wanted to share stories of what happens during real production. So again, Jimbo Clark and I collaborated on this. What's really exciting too is we used his box as a design piece. So we go through the elements of the box and decided what to put in the program and actually made the program stronger. And then, of course, today I'm calling in from West Lynn, which is just south of Portland, Oregon. And of course, Jimbo and I ran a program at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is Jimbo's midnight. And then he went to bed. And then when he went to bed, an hour after we left, we went to go drive around, all the power goes out. So the winds are like 50 to 60 miles per hour right now in Portland, Oregon, and knocked the power out of my sister's place. There are trees down everywhere and so forth and so on, which is kind of a problem because I'm supposed to be producing Jimbo's session after that. So luckily my sister helped out too. She has a library card, and it turns out, if you can see here, we're in the West Lynn Library in a private room that we were able to allocate or reserve for 2 hours for free and use their Wi-Fi. And so I actually brought in all this equipment. I'll post a picture to it later of this hilarious setup. But I did that about an hour before Jimbo's program started, put this all together, and then, of course, was able to hear and participate. Now, Jimbo's good enough. Like he doesn't really need me to run this program, but it was really fun to do this together. I just show my commitment as a producer about like what's the stuff that we sometimes have to deal with. Jimbo, do you have any other
Mhm.
comments about the messages you got when I woke up? When you
Yeah.
woke up?
Yeah. So I woke up and John's like, I got no power. I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. Um, and then he's like, I know you can do it without me, but I'm gonna do my best. And there's almost like one thing about John Chen is I don't know if you are blessed or cursed, because he's got so a part of it is it's like rolling a dice. If you roll a dice once a year, the chances of getting a six is pretty low. But if you roll a dice 3 times a day, chance of getting a six is pretty high. John does so much production that, out of the 100 or so things that he produces, the chances of things going wrong 10 or 15 times. He doesn't tell stories about all the times that it went smoothly. He's not posting about, hey, I just did a program today and it went great without a hitch, although that's normal. But he does share these stories. And I think it's so great for us who are also delivering in any form factor to realize that the fit will hit the shan. And what we do with that is our level of professionalism. And part of that has to do with attitude. So John's attitude of, hey, it's my commitment. I know he can do it, but I'm committed to it. And part of it is doing the hard hours of, getting those 10,000 hours so that you are a professional. And so being a professional just gives you more options. It gives you more ways of perceiving opportunities for doing things in a different way.
And
And so had
sometimes,
it been
oh
me
yes, you know,
not
again,
being a professional,
go ahead,
so
Jimbo.
I might have just sent John a note saying, hey, you got this. I'm going to bed, or I'm going to start, whatever, right? But because he's a professional and I think he enjoys it, the troubleshooting, he's able to find a solution that if he didn't tell us, nobody would know, right? And yeah, so it's I think it's great that he's sharing this with all of us, and appreciate his commitment to his craft and his commitment to me.
That's the purpose of these videos. So I really want to show, anytime you see the Engaging Virtual Meetings debrief, you just need to know that this is a story. I'm attempting to create a video after every paid production gig that I have during a year and share what happened. And sometimes maybe, everything did go right. We just recently had a very complex program where everything went right. And the funny part is that one day later, one of the 3 key computers actually blue screened. And nobody knows about that yet. So these are all the things that I just really want to share, like the behind the scenes, and so that you hopefully get a richer appreciation of like all the things that can really happen during a virtual meeting, and hopefully you learn something. That one of them will be with that. One thing I really want to share too, Jimbo, is that when we facilitate these programs, sometimes some magical stuff happens, and in this case, we ran something, and then we also invented something. And today we ran the same breakout rooms, right? And we kind of know this, but you can build additional psychological safety when you get people to pair up again multiple times during a meeting. And somebody today says, oh, I want to go back. I want to go back and tell this person something. So there's this really bond with it. But today, Jimbo in the past originally invented what I call the breakout room of one, which is you put everyone in a breakout room of one. And actually in this exercise, he asked you to put a virtual background that helped represent 2022. It was a really cool exercise. And today I created the breakout room of everybody. So we had a breakout room with like 9-10 people inside of it, and everybody stayed in the main room. So I'd hit the button, it hit the breakout room, and then nobody went anywhere, and people were confused for a few minutes. And then actually Jimbo saw the value of it, going, wow, this is actually really cool. There's a timer. You can see that there's 8 or 7 minutes, however much time that we want, even though we're all still together. And so anyways, that was, I thought, a great piece that worked out today.
And just to jump on that, what was great about it was you don't go into the breakout room. So you don't, from a participant's point of view, all that happens is the timer starts. A little timer shows up, but it's not like you go through that, the portal from this to this with the disconnecting and the reconnecting. So that's why I didn't think it happened. And the first time that he did it twice. The first time he did it, he told me in a private message that I didn't read that as this was going to happen. And he's like, okay, 3, 2, 1, breakout. And then I'm like, okay, breakout. Everybody's still here. What's going on? And then there's one other thing I wanted to share about this. So as John is having this problem with electricity, and as a virtual producer, as a virtual deliverer, when you're doing these virtual meetings, these things seem so big and important and life-threatening and inconvenient, and my integrity, and people are going to think that all the thoughts around this that create DEFCON 1 emotionally, because I said I was going to be there and I can't. And for those of you that are watching this in our future, this is December 27th, December 28th of 2022, one of the biggest snowstorms in the history of America, with 3,500 flights canceled in the last 3 days. And you think about how many people had someplace to go for business that are now like sitting in an airline, sitting in an airport, just life is, that's misery. That's true misery. And so John experienced some inconvenience and was able to troubleshoot a nice solution that didn't require him to sleep on the floor of an airport or stand in a line of 150 people to talk to somebody to find out that they can't leave for another 3 days. So all I'm saying is, let's just give ourselves a little reality check. And as these things are happening in the virtual world, it's like, just remind yourself, oh man, I'm so glad that something like this didn't happen face to face. Yeah, I'm so glad that I didn't have a car crash, or it's only a computer crash. It's not a car crash or a plane crash. So yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
with that, I'll leave that, Jimbo, with the other part too. You said you talk about more choices, and sometimes about producing is creating more choices with less choices, which is like today we planned that I'm like going to be in the studio, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not going to be home in time for this. I got this whole portable setup. Now I did bring all the right equipment, but it's like not the same equipment that I have for all the other small things, which is why I actually I muted Jimbo in the middle of some big talk. I was trying to private chat you, and I hit the wrong button, and. So that's the other part here too, is sometimes you also as a producer have to figure out how to create more choices with the stuff that you bring. And I think that's one of the other keys. So let that be a lesson, I think, here. The best part too, I heard Jimbo Clark, is that some people figured out, that like it wasn't such a big challenge to have all your flights canceled. They like FaceTimed, or they Zoomed their kids opening gifts, or their cousins or their relatives. Because now we have more choices, and that's something I know that Jimbo cares about a lot. So
yeah,
all right,
beautiful.
Jimbo Clark, I want to say thank you and happy unboxing day. Definitely check out Jimbo Clark, innogreat.com/box. And all right, Jimbo, I'll see you next time, and happy unboxing day to you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
This is John Chen signing off for the first Engaging Virtual Meetings debrief with the one and only Jimbo Clark. Happy New Year, happy holidays. We'll see you next time.
First one's the best one.